Hello everyone, it's Wildman Rouse here with the week that was, a look back at pictures I've taken in the past week and that I've processed. In the UK, we wake up to a new government this morning with new hope. Let's hope that the hope is good for the environment and that they listen to the experts and they listen to the people and they do a good job for the environment, for all of us, because it needs it and we need it too. All right, so this week, no barn owls. Been out a few times, got nothing. Total blanks. So I went out to a couple of my regular sites and you'll see I did all right. First one, roe deer. I love roe deer. This time of the year, you got to get up at 3:30 in the morning. This was taken just before sunrise, about 5 a.m. Beautiful in the field. I love this doe. She actually had a baby behind her, but I couldn't see it because of the crops. They got young this time of the year. But I love shooting this in the habitat to show how what roe deer should look. I just love roe deer. It's the ultimate one-on-one challenge. I should say, wild bunchers, continue to watch your own video after this one. You'll get lots of extra hints and tips and a look back at the pictures and some more pictures as well. So you get some extra content. All right, let's move on. Now, oh my God, a bee orchid. You might think I don't do things like this. Well, it's beautiful and it's part of nature. And when I'm out, I don't take loads of lenses and cameras. I just take one camera, one lens, because you can only shoot with one at a time, just to do every job I have. So I shot this with a 150 to 400. You can see nice and backlit into the rising sun. It wasn't like a perfect angle, but I like the light around the rims. And I like the backlit. I then move around to the side, as you can see here, to get some raking side light on it. I couldn't get it front on because the light wasn't right. I had to shoot it at f10 to get all the depth of field in. I could have focus stacked it. I was in a bit of a rush because there were hares running by me and I was desperate to go after them. And I'm not a macro photographer first and foremost. I'm a mammal and bird photographer. So if I see something to photograph, I'm going to quickly do it and then move on as I did. You'll hear about the hares in just a minute. Now, following the macro theme, okay, once the light came up, I decided not to go home. I went looking for butterflies and I found this beautiful marbled white, looked through the grass, low angle. I love it with the daisies in it. This week I posted on social about the fact that I walked around the village here and I've seen very few bees and butterflies. And thank you for all of the positive responses that you gave me back. It was awesome to read and sad in some ways, but awesome to read that I wasn't alone and there were people out there with the same concerns as me. And hopefully this will translate, as we say, to the new government actually taking some action on it. So I was very pleased to find some marble whites. I didn't find the numbers that I normally did. But maybe it was a pretty cold morning yesterday, so that could be the reason. Anyway, I said about hares earlier on, I had really amazing hare action. Here's this one like loping by me. Hares are not born to run elegantly. They don't run elegant at all. They just run really silly, I think. So I managed to get this one leaping in the air. There were a few courting couples around. Anyone that believes that courtship only happens in March, it's a lie. That happens all year long. So there were 3 or 4 courting couples, so it's quite a lot of action. But right at the end, I managed to find this really beautiful hare, and this is my favourite picture of the week. I took my time. I took half an hour with it. You can see on the video here, you can see how close I managed to crawl to it. Hares have a way of mesmerising them, not just by my presence and my dodgy shirts. I love working with them. Wild Bunches, you're going to see a film on this with a load of pictures and videos that I shot and everything else of the whole moment. Everyone else, you can enjoy this really beautiful picture, low angle, beautiful animal, feeding, relaxed. I like the angle of the ears, shot very, very low on the ground. They don't like you standing, obviously, dominating above them. And that's my favourite image of the week. And I love it. Shot with the 150 to 400, I should say, and the OM1 Mark II. All right, pictures I've processed. I still haven't come up with any banners yet for all this, but pictures I've processed in the last week from the collection. Well, here's one of a hawk owl I did. It's on a workshop. It's not a wild one. It was in the UK at Hagley Falconry Centre. One of my Eagle and Friends workshops that I do, Eagle Owls and Friends workshops. We shot this on a frosty morning, low angle, and the techniques that I train and teach on these workshops can be used anywhere when you do wildlife photography. So we've just announced some for Wild Bunch, and we've got a few places left. We're going to announce a second OM day because the first one is full. So we will announce those on our newsletter first next week. Okay, so that's a nice image. Next one, look at this. Wow, an oryx and samburu. You know, when the sun rises, I want to shoot into it. That's my thing. The roe deer at the start, that was shot into the light. You saw the bee orchids were. The hares, I had no choice. I would always shoot them into the light if I can, and maybe next week I will. But I shot that into the light. Lovely, lovely, lovely surroundings. I gave it space. It's on one side of the frame looking in. Depends what side of the picture I'm actually on. It could be that way looking in or that way looking in. But really nice light, very simple picture. And I don't want to have an isolation picture. I don't want just to have the oryx with nothing around it. I want to show the background. I love showing the habitat that they're in. More of a painterly style is what I'm adopting these days, more of a painting. And finally, my favourite one I processed this week is this one. I processed a whole sequence of Andean condors that I shot. We had a really amazing morning on an Ecuador tour last month. And this was a beautiful one flying by the rock face. It's a great conservation success story because they were critically endangered. Okay, they were really, really in trouble. And thanks to the work of good conservation organisations and local people, very important, in Ecuador, in this particular area in Antisana, they are rising in numbers. And it was amazing to get to see them. Anyway, this week on Wild Bunch, we've had really lots of content. So this was last weekend. I did a Photoshop tutorial on using the 10% brush. We've had a creature feature on hornets. You know, hornets, absolutely beautiful to photograph. I love doing that. So we had a creature feature on that. We had member Lyndon show his badgers, which has been very popular. We love our members showing their stories about why they love their wildlife photography. And there's another dodgy video diary from me on Ecuador on a macaw lek. There was lots of other stuff that we published this week, including Patreon, which is our new answer to social media. So all of our free members and everyone else will get the same pictures we post on social media with a little bit more tip and information in there. And you get it delivered to your inbox rather than hoping that some algorithm delivers it. So if you want to join us, have a look here. There's a scan link for you that will scan all of our links for you, so you can easily just go to our social media or go and join our Patreon. You can see there I've got my Pro Capture ebook and I've got my Flex Shooter. Right now we're recording our podcast this weekend for our Patreon members. We've got a Talking Tech one and a Creature Features one. Okay, so anyway, hope that you enjoyed this. Hope that it was useful to see what I've shot over the past week. Next week, I've seen the rain. It's going to be a challenge, but I probably will be doing barn owls and hares again, and you never know what else I might find. All right, so let's all be positive this morning with the new government. I hope that you enjoyed that. Be nice to each other, and Wild Bunch members, keep watching.